Hello. Let's take a look at these weapon refines, shall we? Look, admittedly I don't have a 5-star Bantu or Conrad. Who's the other one? Is there another one? Hold on, let me look super quick. So it's Edelgard, Conrad, Alphon, Silk, and Bantu. Okay, yeah, so I don't have a 5-star Bantu or Conrad, so I'm going to reference PM1's tweet as to what those are because I'm too lazy and I don't want to spend the feathers. But, you know, we can take a look at these three after the fact. So let's just take a look at those first. We'll take a look at Conrad because, let's face it, he's probably going to get the worst of the batch. He is the Grail unit. Let me see. So, Masked Lance. If an ally initiates combat or within 2 spaces of an ally, grants 4 stats to unit during combat, and inflicts penalty on foes' attack, defense, res during combat equal to 20% of units' res at start of combat. And that's just the base effect. That's actually not that bad. Wow. Oh wow, I don't understand why he's inflicting res debuff. But, I mean, I guess. Based on his res, yeah. Okay. So, and then the refined part is at start of combat, if unit's HP is above a quarter, grants attack speed another 4 all stats to unit during combat. And also, if unit's res is greater than foe's res, reduces damage. Okay, so his Dragon Wall. That's why he's reducing the enemy's res. Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's actually not that bad. 8 all stats. Debuff to opponent's attack and defenses based on 20% of his res, and then Dragon Wall with another, Dragon Wall. So yeah, 8 stats Dragon Wall and debuff to attack and defenses by 20% of his res. It's cute. I mean, if you haven't invested in Conrad, then he just got a little better, but I mean, I guess if you needed him to, he could act as a decent tank in Ether Raids, but I don't really know where you're going to use him outside. Like, Light Season, right? Because Light Season, you can buff his res up, so maybe you can use him as like a mage tank, because I know he has a lot of res. That's like all I really know about him. Actually, I think he has like doesn't he have like speed as a dump stat, and then both of his defense and res are like kind of high? Like around the high 30s or like low 40s? I don't know. Like I said, I don't use Conrad, so. Yeah. I mean, like I said, in Light Season, he could be a pretty decent tank for you, I suppose. Just pump up his res with like air and dagger if you have her. Who else increases res? I can only think of air and dagger off the top of my head. I know Peony increases like speed, but yeah. Anyways, it could be a decent option if you need something like that. Anyways, let's take a look at Bantu now. Man, this is a really underwhelming refined batch for me. I don't care about any of these, to be honest with you, but we'll take a look at them. Okay, Wizened Breath. At start of combat, if unit's HP is above a quarter, grants 4 all stats to unit during combat, and also if no effect neutralizes penalties to foes' stats, inflicts penalty on each of those stats during combat equal to 6 minus current penalty on each of those stats for a minimum of 0. Calculate each stat independently. The fuck did I just read? Oh, okay, no. Okay, so if you have debuffs and you don't have any effects that neutralize those debuffs, he basically double dips and like double debuffs you, I guess. Alright, well, whatever. If unit's HP is above a quarter at start of combat, inflicts minus 6 stats on foe through its next action after combat. Ooh, super smoke. Okay, if foe initiates combat or foe's HP is above 3/4 at start of combat, grants another 4 stats to unit, and foe cannot make a fall attack during combat. Okay, so yeah, this is just another tame, cute little refine. If you have a Bantu that's invested, then he just got a little better, same as Conrad. It's really nothing groundbreaking. But I mean, 4-star and Grail refines usually aren't anything to write home about, right? So this is not surprising. So he's got 4 all stats, follow-up denial, and -6 all stats after combat, and he double dips into your visible debuffs if you do not neutralize them. So there you go. That's kind of, I mean, like I said, if you have Bontu, then it's cool. Otherwise, it's whatever, right? Okay, so let's start with Silk here. We'll see what Staff of Lilies does. So it's got Wrathful, which makes sense because she comes with Dazzling. After combat, if unit attacked, reset special cooldown of target and foes within 2 spaces of target, inflicts guard on target and foes within 2 spaces of target. So it makes sense. It's just the first half of this is just melancholy, right? Neutralizes special cooldown count reductions after combat, but skills that accelerate and slow specials are still effective. Huh? What does that mean? Neutralizes special cooldown count reductions after combat, but skills that accelerate and slow specials are still effective. Does this mean that it neutralizes Time's Pulse? Huh. That's kind of cute, I guess. Although, I will say, the trend with these refines is that sometimes they'll introduce a new effect. Like, this is the first time we're seeing a character with an effect that's neutralizing Time's Pulse, right? That's how I'm reading it as. And if that is how it works, then they'll probably eventually release, I'm guessing, some C slot, some kind of a smoke maybe. Even like Pulse Smoke 4, I'm assuming. Let's just say that for argument's sake. Let's say they release Pulse Smoke 4. Well, Pulse Smoke 4 will probably have this effect where it resets cooldowns and then neutralizes Time's Pulse effects, right? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. Usually when they introduce new effects like this on weapon refines, they find a new home in the form of a new skill slot somewhere, right? This is like a test run, as it were. Anyways, but that is kind of cool. It's the first iteration of that kind of effect. It's annoying, but, you know, it's another tool to be played around with. At start of combat, if unit's HP is above a quarter, grants 4 all stats to unit during combat. Alright, so it's melancholy that now neutralizes Time's Pulse, if I am reading this correctly, and she now gets 4 all stats. So the refine portion, let me get a little swig of water here, wet the old whistle. Ugh, man. Refine. If unit initiates combat within 2 spaces of an ally, get another 4 all stats to unit during combat, and also after combat, if unit attacked, inflicts -6 attack speed on target and foe within 2 spaces of target through their next actions, grants 6 dev res to allies within 2 spaces of unit during combat, and restores 7 HP to those allies after combat. Aha. Isn't that basically what Saline does? Or is that like per hit healing? No, hey, Saline does something kind of similar to that. The like proxy healing. That's decent. It's healers are a lot better when they can heal you without using an action. Right? That's kind of why the Herons are so good, because they just heal you when the turn starts, but they're also dancers. It's great utility. So yeah, that's not too bad. Her as a combat unit, like her like getting 8 all stats and then also inflicting like basically attack speed smoke, that don't matter. Like, I mean, it's kind of cute because like you want to attack with her anyway to take specials away if you needed to, so it's kind of cool that she has that little extra utility of inflicting speed and attack debuffs. But the cool thing here is that she gives you 6 defense res as an in-combat buff, and then gives you a little bit of healing once the combat's over. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's cool enough or good enough to make her to like slaughter in anywhere else over somebody else, but it's still like pretty cool, right? But yeah, like she would be really good, like to have, like honestly, it wouldn't be too bad to put her on your Omni Tank teams, like in Ether raids, like especially in Astra season if you have Elamine uh, giving the DR and Devin Rez, then you could have Silk on the other side giving the Devin Rez in combat to complement the visible Dev Res buff that Elamine gives, and then Silk can also give a little bit of supplemental healing outside of combat. That's actually not too bad. I might actually consider getting this refined and putting her on my Brave Claude Astra team. Because that's not... But then I would have to take someone off, and I don't know who that would be. So it's kind of a... Like, this is like a pretty good refine. But again, it's like, who do you replace on your teams, right? But yeah, I recognize this as like a pretty decent like healer refine. So it's not... Anything... When a healer can heal you without doing anything, that's pretty good. So, anyways, yeah, that's not bad. Moving on, we'll save Edelgard for last, I suppose. Alphons. Man, reading these always makes my throat so dry. Got a good amount of water left still. Anyways, Imbued Coma. Let's see. The base one, I do not quite remember what it does. It is slaying at start of combat. If special is ready, grants 5 all stats during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. Okay. So, slaying at start of combat. If unit special is ready, grants 5 all stats to unit. Foe cannot make a follow-up attack, and reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit's defense during combat, excluding area of effects AoE. Yo, I was speaking with a buddy in a Discord, like, a few days ago about... And I said to him, I was like, yo, what if they just give... Because he's got a plus 10 duo Alphons, and he was like kind of... And we were kind of wondering, like, what could they do to make him, like, relevant, right? And I was just saying, like, what if they just give him, like, Asker's, like, defense based on stat DR or whatever, right? Because, like, that would make him a good tank. And that's, like, what Alphons is, right? Like, dual Alphons... essentially, works, or functions, yeah. Duo Alphons essentially functions the same way as Duo Asker does. Like, he's just a tanky mage, right? So, the fact that his base effect has gotten that 20% DR based on his defense is quite good. Now, I don't think Alphon's defense is anywhere near as high as Asker's, so it's like obviously not as good on Alphon's. Like, what's Alphon's defense right now? Well, I have a Bane at 32, so let's say it's 35 normally. I don't know if he has a super boon or not, but 35, 39 at plus 10, and then say 42. We'll be generous, say 43 if he has a super boon. Again, I don't know if he does or not. And then what could he have? 20 flowers? So I'd bring him to 47 defense? Yeah, it's only 5 or 6 below what Asker could have. It's not, like, terrible, but... And then, of course, you can give him buffs and such. That's decent. Let's take a look at what his refined portion is. If units within 3 spaces of an ally, grants 4 stats, so he has 9 all stats. Inflict special cooldown charge -1, so guard, on foe per attack. Reduces the effect of deep wounds by 50%. And when special triggers, unit deals 15% of defense's damage. Ooh. He's kind of, that makes him a good special spammer. Like, you absolutely want Special Spiral 4 on him now. And his, Open the Future does heal him a little bit, not a lot, but it's enough healing to, like, sustain, especially if you put, like, dude, this guy literally functions the exact same as Duo Asker, but he has, like, better sustain with Open the Future, and, especially if you put, like, Defense Res finish on Alphons, you would basically have a second Duo Asker. This is a really strong refine, actually. Wow, that's good. And he could technically hit harder than Asker because of that 15% damage when his special triggers. That's really good. Like, it's funny. He literally functions exactly like Asker. He has the 3 spaces of an ally stipulation. He has guard. Asker also has guard. He gives himself 9 all stats, which is actually more than Asker. Asker only gives 5 stats, so I guess that kind of evens out, right? With the stat differential there. Yeah. This is good. I think if you have a plus 10 duo Alphons, you're happy with this. This is a solid refine. Makes him a good nuke. A very good tank. He can hit hard with his Open the Future. This is good. This is really good. Yeah. Not bad at all. I mean, I wouldn't get it myself because I don't have like an invested Alphons, and I have a plus 10 Asker anyway. So, but like if I did invest in Alphons, it would be kind of cute to like run them, like just to have like a blue Asker basically. But nah, whatever. Yeah, that's good. That's good refine. Quite good. All right, Edelgard. Let's see what they did for her. You'll have to excuse her build. This is a form of Edelgard I got way back when. Like, I don't know when her Hall of Forms was around, like maybe 2 years ago now. And, like, clearly, at the time, these are, like, the best skills I can get for her. Like, I think Sturdy Stance was, like, brand new at the time. Like, that's how old her Hall of Forms was. So, Victorious Axe. What does it initially do? It's, like, bad. Like, the 3 Houses Lords are old enough that their PRFs are actually quite bad. And they need refines. So, Excel. If the number of foes within 2 spaces are greater than or equal to the number of allies within 2 spaces, unit makes guaranteed follow-up attack. Wow, that's pretty bad. Okay, so. Special Excel. At start of combat if unit's HP is above a quarter, or the number of foes within 2 spaces of unit is greater than or equal to the number of allies within 2 spaces of unit, grants 4 all stats to unit, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat. Alright, so the follow-up is easier now, and she gets 4 stats on top of it, which is 4 instead of 5, but I assume there's 4. Yeah, there's 4 in the refine, so anyways. Decent change to the base. It just well, it's not really a change, it just gives her 4 stats, and then makes the follow-up easier to trigger. But the refine, let's see. If unit initiates combat or is not adjacent to an ally, grants another 4 all stats to unit during combat and deals damage equal to 10% of unit's attack. Okay. Extra damage based on your stats is always good. If unit initiates combat and unit is not adjacent to an ally after combat, grants another action to unit. Once per turn if its skill effect moves, blah blah blah. Oh, interesting. She gets Raging Storm. That's kind of cute. Okay, so she gets an easier to make follow-up, 4 all stats. No, excuse me. So the follow-up condition is easier to meet. She's got 8 all stats, 10% true damage based on her attack stat, and Raging Storm. I don't know about that. I mean, it makes her a good Gale Forcer. So, like, if you wanted to have, like, Summer Edelgard, Legendary Edelgard, and then, like, Fallen Edelgard on a team, you could have, like, I don't know, 30 action Gale Force team or some bullshit. Nah, it wouldn't be that many. Well, what could it possibly be? 1, 2, so 3 for both Summer Edelgard and Fallen Edelgard, so that's 6. And then... Actually, three actions for all of them, actually, so it'd just be 12. You could have a 12-action Gale Force team. Neat! That's cute. I mean, outside of, like, using her as a Gale Forcer and Ether Raids, I'm not too sure. Because you're not going to use something like this in Summoner Duels, because something like Raging Storm in Gale Force and Summoner Duels is very, very risky. Because you're opening yourself up to, like, immediate reprisal or like repercussions or a follow-up attack, whatever. Like if you go in somewhere, kill something in Gale Force, you're stuck. You can't move. Your opponent gets to make a move. And if Summer Edelgard is like the only one I've seen who could do this and like live to use her Gale Force, but like chances are you'll just die. So like Gale Force Raging Storm stuff, and more often than not you don't really want to use it for summoner duels. This is a very good refine for Ether Rage, right? I mean, I don't know, you put her on Astra or Light, wherever. Chaos, honestly, this would be pretty decent for Chaos. Have like a nuts Gale Force team for Chaos. Have just like a full Edelgard team, and you just have 12 actions. That's kind of cool, actually. But then you have like, well, I guess it's only like her and the Legend that are green, so it's not that bad. Not a horrible refine. It's not. I think Alphon's got the best refine. This is like definitely this, but it's the second best by default because then like Bantu and Conrad or whatever. Honestly, actually, now you know what? Fuck that. Silk got the second best refine. Edelgard is third best. I said it. Come for me. Fight me. I will stand by that. I think Silk got a better refine than Edelgard. Fight me. This is she got Raging Storm. So the fuck what? Who cares? Like she's still like a book. What is it? Book 3 infantry unit. Her stats are kind of really low. Like you would need to have her at plus 10 max flowers. Like I don't know. Do you have 2,000 infantry flowers sitting around right now to put on her? I don't. And you'd have to bump up her attack stat as high as you can. So, what would you want? Like, I don't know, you could put, like, Fury 4 on her, Life and Death 4. You could run, like, double Fury or double Life and Death just to pump up her attack as high as you possibly can. That way, you secure kills. Honestly, you might even want Heavy Blade 4 because you're going to want Special Excel. Her Refine doesn't have Special Excel. That's kind of a problem. Or you can run her with Thor, I guess. She is either going to need a build that sacrifices stats so that she can get her Gale Force off. Right? Because she needs Time Pulse, and she's going to need Heavy Blade. But if you put Heavy Blade in A slot, you're sacrificing an A slot, right? A slot is where you get your stats. Sacrifice your Seal, well, that's more stats you're sacrificing. But you'd probably want to sacrifice a Seal over the A slot. Yeah, but Heavy Blade 4 gives some true damage, so, I mean, that would help with the one-shots. You could also just forego Gale Force and just go with the 2-hit. You can just run up, blow something up, Raging Storm, run away. And the other thing is, she's locked to 2 movement. She's an infantry. You'd have to put, like, maybe, what's it called? Assault Charge on her, which is only available from Summer Edelgard, currently. Or you'd have to just put, Odd Tempest, Even Tempest combo, or just one of the two and play around it. Or just have, like, an Azura Dancer with her to give her some extra movement, something like that. Or a Legend Sigurd. Like, she's... The reason why, like, it's an okay refine, but you need a lot of investment in her and a lot of support around her to get the most out of it. And that's why it's a little underwhelming to me. Like, she needed something else. She needed... Like, her refine needed to also give her special charges on hit, or give her extra movement or something like that, like they did for Ephraim for whatever reason. Like, I don't know, she needed something else. So, it being what it is, it's okay, but I don't see her working super well unless you have, like, hyper investment into her, and or you have like a lot of support for her. So yeah, I think the winner is no questions asked Alphon's. I actually do think Silk has got a more useful refine, so she gets second place in my mind. Edelgard gets third place, but that's not saying much because the other two is Conrad and Bantu, and those are like whatever. Anyways, those are my thoughts. If you enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment and all that good jazz. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.